Hi, I'm Jem Morris, and thank you so much for continuing to tune in to Bright New Voices, the Balboa Press Hour. My next author on today's program has written a book as a response to her first book, How Learning to Say Goodbye Taught Me How to Live. In her new book, The Heart of the Matter, a workbook and guide to finding your way back to self-love, Joffrey McClung teaches us how to use the tools within to become self-aware, heal past wounds, change limiting beliefs, and find our way back to self-love. Joffrey, thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Well, thank you for having me, and you said that beautifully.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, your book consists of 3 parts. Part 1 is called The 3 Essential Tools. Part 2, The 3 Components of Self-Love. And Part 3 is called Investigating, Interrogating, and Integrating. So I want to begin our conversation today with Part 1 of your book. Tell us what the 3 essential tools are for finding our way back to self-love.
Well, the first one is imagination, combined with meditation. Now, meditation is really the technique we're going to use with all of the tools, all of the exercises, all the homework. When you combine imagination, let's say, with meditation, that's when you begin to make real progress in understanding yourself, your beliefs, your emotions, being able to heal certain areas, get to know certain parts of yourself. Imagination is really the first tool because we need to wake that muscle up, get it going through the meditation so you can begin to explore your inner landscape, because you're going to need it for all of the tools, all of the next exercises, all the chapters, from connecting to your higher self, the various parts of yourself, etc. So we work to get that tool of imagination activated first.
You equate it as being a warm-up, if you will, if you were to look at all 3 exercises as an entire workout.
Right. That's why we do start with that imagination, because also to get people to understand meditation is not something mysterious. It's not something you have to do a big technique like tons of candles, do a whole thing for 10 minutes before you can say you're meditating. The way I define it in the book is meditating is simply focusing your attention. So beginning the warm-up of your workout, we're going to focus your attention. And then we're going to add something else to your workout. Then we're going to add your higher self. Now, that's the next tool. Now, Jen, the way I define the higher self, and I'm sure many people define it different ways, but the way I do is your higher self is the part of you, and that's very important. It's a part of you. It's not something separate. It's not outside of you. It is a part of you that has never forgotten that it is one with the divine and carries with it all the knowledge and power of that love. So now we've done imagination. We use the imagination to meet our higher self. Now the third tool is the emotions. So your emotions basically are going to be guiding you to what needs healing, to what parts of yourself need attention and love, what beliefs are causing you damage or limiting your ability to live the life you want. Your emotions are truly going to be your guidance system on your journey. So that's why it's the third tool we work with after we've met our higher self, so they're walking with us through our emotional landscape so we can be ready for the next part.
You say that we are either moving through the world in self-love or we are not, and I know that you just said that self-love is rooted in the heart. So what exactly do you mean by that, and what really is self-love?
The main difference between moving through the world in self-love and not is that one always looks outside of themselves for what they need, and the other knows they can always find what they need on the inside. So one is a position of powerlessness, which we've all experienced, and the other has found their authentic power by going to that. So that's really the main difference.
I love that. You mentioned that doing this work will get us back in touch with the orphaned parts of ourselves. Do you think that this is so often a major issue for people, a fractured sense of awareness and understanding?
Yes, I do, actually. I really do. I think we've all experienced some sort of fracturing in some form or another. I don't think anyone gets through childhood or life unscathed. Now, some of the wounds are minor. Some of the hurts, some of the wounds, whatever words you want to use, are minor, so we don't deal with them. But some have determined our sense of self and how we believe the world will see us and treat us. Now, most of us have not been taught how to handle emotional pain or how to even change our beliefs or negative thinking. So here you are with these wounds that have formed negative beliefs and thinkings, and you're in pain, and you don't even know it half the time. For instance, I've seen an accomplished person, really an accomplished person, lose their cookies, so to speak, when something is said that triggers an old childhood wound. Mm-hmm. Now, what that tells me is they have not healed that wound, and they actually are still being impacted by it, or they wouldn't have that reaction. Now, self-awareness, that's the key. but it takes daily practice to become self-aware, in order for it to become, second nature. And also, you have to have an unwavering devotion to truth. Again, I've known very intelligent people who have no idea that they are lying to themselves. It's not until something, let's say, goes horribly wrong in their lives, some catastrophe, that they suddenly become aware that they've been carrying around old emotional pain and have been living their life based on the beliefs born out of that pain. So back to your question, a long way around. I think you're going a long way around. I guess the answer is yes. I do think people are lacking in a certain level of self-awareness and don't have the ability to understand what's going on inside of them, which is the reason I wrote my book, included a workbook in it.
Right. And that's what I love about it. You have meditation exercises and homework, if you will, in the book. How do these practices help us go a little bit deeper? And what can we expect to learn in the second and third part of your book without giving too much away? Because, of course, we want our listeners to buy the book and do the work, because that is really where they will see the results.
Yeah, they're going to have to do their work. Well, let's do the second and third part of the book first. I think that may answer both questions. But the second part of the book, again, we mentioned that we're going to redefine self-love, and then we're going to work with those three components that are necessary to self-love. We're going to begin to deconstruct our views and judgments on love and actually consciously define it for ourselves. So the second part of the book is all about redefining and experiencing love from within. Now, you're going to be using the questions which are in each chapter. That's going to help you with your beliefs. Then you're going to do the meditation exercises. That's where you're going to feel. The questions are for thinking. The meditations are for feeling. You're going to connect both your mind and your heart during this entire process. Now, the third part of the book, that's where we're going to go work with those parts of ourselves, orphans, as you called them, Burley, and I call them in the book, that are in pain and still holding on to those old wounds and hurts. These are the parts that are impacting our present from the past. We're going to work in meditation to get a closer understanding of these parts and begin to offer them love and compassionate understanding, which is how we're going to heal and integrate these parts through compassionate understanding and eventually offer it to others, even those that harmed us, believe it or not. And then we really are free from the past, and we really have integrated all these parts back into the whole. And I will say this, that when you take the time and you actually do the work, it is a very empowering act. And to forgive the past and all the participants is a very liberating act. So the third part of the book, I would say, is where love meets power, authentic power from within, and freedom.
Well, and as you say, using this book will really allow you to fall in love with yourself again, and I love that so much. Joffrey, before I let you go, I know that you have a social media platform where our listeners can learn a little bit more about you. Tell us where we can find you.
Certainly. Well, Jen, first of all, of course, my website, JoffreyMcClung.com, and I have a weekly spiritual personal growth blog there. And then Facebook, my author page, Joffrey McClung, Twitter. And then also my YouTube channel, which is now up and running, which I'm very happy to say. Took a while. I have the first 3 videos on self-love already up there now. It's sort of a companion piece to the book to help encourage people who are using the book to grow and to help encourage them to keep going and to go over some of the points in the book a little bit more fine-tooth, I guess you would say. So you can find me all over the place. And also on Facebook, sometimes I do give freebies away, like certain ebook giveaways or whatnot. So definitely follow me there.
Fantastic. I love that. Well, we definitely will follow you, and we so appreciate your time today, Joffrey.
Oh, thank you so much. And can I just say one last thing to your listeners?
Of course. Go ahead.
If you get anything from my book, I hope you get this, that the heart of the matter is you are lovable, loving, and loved, and there's nothing you can do or say that will ever change that truth.
Well said, Joffrey McClung. Thank you so much.